On this episode of the Whiskey Tornado, we review Bardstown Discovery 7. What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. Today, I am excited to review Bardstown's Discovery 7 series for you guys. This is year after year one of my favorite bourbons. The first year we started this channel, Discovery 3 was our bourbon of the year, and last year the Discovery series was in our top 5. So every year I take my top rated bourbons, I send those samples blind to our top Patreon members. We get to taste those and vote on our bourbon of the year, and Discovery series is always in the running. Now, I will admit this year when Discovery 7 series blend was released and I saw a Canadian 100% corn whiskey blended in, I was like, oh man, I don't know, but Steve Nally always crushes these blends, and in Steve I trust, so I'm excited to get into this one with you guys today. For those of you new to the Whiskey Tornado, I will quickly review our scoring system. If you've heard this a million times, check out the timestamps below and you can skip ahead to the section you want to see. Here on the Whiskey Tornado, we have 7 categories we rank, 0 to 1, 0.5 being an average score. The first 2 categories are handicap. Those are appearance and availability. Then we get into the important stuff and we talk about the nose, the palate, the finish, the body, and value. At the end, we add all of those up. Any score of 3 or better means it is bar worthy. Feel safe buying that for your bar. Any score of 4 or better is bunker worthy. You better buy a couple just in case the bourbon you love is no longer made. All right, with all that being said, let's get into the appearance of Bardstown Discovery 7. All right, guys, so as we've talked about a million times, I'm going to get a pour of this. The appearance on this bottle, I actually really love it. It looks modern, looks beautiful. Now, the corks, they did go back to plastic corks, but I kept my cork from Discovery 7 and Discovery 3 series. I think you guys can see that. It is heavy. It's a real cork. It sounds so pretty when you snap it in. You get in there and it just clicks. It feels really nice. So I kept my corks, and I've just been transferring them to the later Discovery series where they use the cheaper, more synthetic cork. I just love the feel of those old corks on these Discovery series. But the appearance is really nice. I actually think it's beautiful. They have like corn stalks etched on the back, really modern. They're very transparent. They list all the blends on the side, which I think is really interesting to know, especially with the breakdown of Discovery 7 this year. We have 2 12-year Kentucky bourbons that make up, one makes up 31% of the blend, another makes up 25% of the blend. Then we have 21% of this blend is a 12-year Canadian corn whiskey, 100% corn whiskey, which is really interesting. Then we have a 7-year MGP that makes up 15% of the blend. And finally, that George Dickel, that Tennessee whiskey, it's a 17-year and it makes up 8% of the blend. So we've got a lot of good age in here, a good representation of Kentucky, of MGP, and the new addition being that Canadian corn whiskey, which I imagine is going to bring a lot of sweetness to this. So we'll see. But as far as appearance goes, it's better than average. I'll give it a 0.7. All right, moving on to availability. This is a bottle I used to be able to find on the shelves pretty easily when it was released. The word is out. Everyone knows these blends are fantastic, and Steve Nally does an amazing job. So when these hit the shelves, they're pretty much gone. It's less than average now. We're talking a 0.3. In fact, if I see these sitting on the shelves, I feel pretty lucky about it. But it's not impossible. You can find them on the shelves. If you go to the distillery, if you go to Bardstown Discovery in Bardstown, Kentucky, you will be able to typically find these when they're released in the gift shop. So we're going to give it less than average. We're going to give the availability a 0.3. All right, moving on to the good stuff. Let's talk about the nose, guys. Oh, man. Oh, it smells so good. This is a fat kid's dream. The sweetness. There's so much sweetness on the nose to this. Oh my gosh, it is just like overwhelming, like sugary strawberries. It's like strawberries coated in sugar. There's a little bit of Smarties on the nose, which actually, like, you know, we talked about there being a 17-year Dickel in this blend, only 8% of it. But when I taste Dickel, I get Smarties or that like Flintstone vitamin note. That is on the nose for me, which is a little alarming because I'm not a huge George Dickel fan, but it's there, but it's not off-putting. It doesn't have that minerality note, but it does smell like strawberry Smarties. Tons of sweetness. My goodness, tons of sweetness. Lots of vanilla. And then just a little bit of like sweet pipe tobacco on the back end. I mean, if I were smelling this blind, I would be super excited to take a drink. I would know this was going to be a good bourbon. It is sugary sweet. I mean, the nose is just blowing me away. It is exceptional to me. I'm going to give the nose a 0.9. That's how much I like it. All right, moving on to the palate. First sip. Cheers, everybody. Oh, man, it's good. This comes in at 114.5 proof. So the proof is a little up there. That first sip was just, to me, sweetness and strawberries. Man. Let me let this finish subside, and then we're going to take a second sip, see if I pick anything else up. It's that strawberry Smarties. There is vanilla on here, like candied vanilla. And then chilies. That like barrel spice is really nice on the back end. You know, this isn't super complex to me, but what's there is really nice. That sweetness has got to be coming from that corn whiskey. And I'll tell you guys, the George Dickel, the 17-year Tennessee whiskey that's in here, if he would have blended 1% more, it would have been too much. It's like just the right amount. I'm sure that adds weight and adds texture and viscosity. But what I don't like about George Dickel is that minerality note. And he managed to put just enough in there where you get those fruit Smartie notes, but it's not off-putting. So I don't know if I tasted this blind. I don't know if I would know that this was George Dickel or that there was Tennessee whiskey in here. That would be really interesting. I would love for someone to send me a blind and put this in there and let me see if I pick up on the George Dickel. It's right there. It's really close. I think I would, but it's not off-putting. If you're scared of Tennessee whiskey, of that George Dickel, of that minerality note, I would say I wouldn't be scared about this. I think you'll still like it, but it may be a try before you buy. It may be, you know, if you're at a bar, try this before, especially due to the price. I think it's really nice. It's crazy. Like if I'm looking at, like if I was drawing a scale of this, of the flavor on a chart, I would say when it starts, like the sweetness just goes through the roof. It ramps straight up on a roller coaster and then falls off really fast. And then on the back end, you start to get that barrel spice and those like jalapeno peppers, and it jumps right back up on the spice end, and that finish just kind of tails off slow. So the sweet ramps up and falls off really quick, and then the spice kicks in and then dies off really slow. Let me take another sip and just confirm that. But man, it's so sweet. Excuse me, man. That is sweet. It is really nice. I'm enjoying it. The finish is long. Gosh, it's like strawberry Smarties, vanilla, and jalapeno peppers. So it's not super complex, but what's there I really enjoy. This definitely has those past like Discovery footprints to it to me. I'm going to give it a 0.7 on the palate. It's not to the 0.8 for me because the complexity is not there. It's just very sweet, very strawberry, very vanilla forward to me. It's really nice. I love what's there. It just doesn't have quite the layers of flavor that, say, Discovery 3 and Discovery 4 had. It would be interesting to put this up against Discovery 6, but I drank all my Discovery 6, so I can't do that. So I couldn't tell you whether this is better or not. It'll be interesting to see how I grade it and where it compares in my scoring compared to Discovery 6. Because I have not looked and I don't know what I've added up here yet. So very interested to find out. But I'm going to give the palate a 0.7. Really good, not quite to that 0.8 range. All right, moving on to the finish, guys. Like I said, the finish tails off nice and slow. It's long, definitely better than average, not in any exceptional category. So we're going to give it a 0.7. Moving on to the body. Again, this has a lot of 12-year, 17-year whiskey in it. Youngest being that 7-year MGP. So the body's really good. Again, better than average, but not to the exceptional 0.8 category. We're going to give it just under that, and we're going to put it at a 0.7. All right, moving on to our final category, and that is value. The price on Bardstown Discovery Series is creeping up. I think it was 120, 125. Now it's anywhere from 130 to 150. I'm not sure, I didn't look, but I know the price is increasing. Now, you got to keep in mind, this is blended by Steve Nally, who I'm a huge fan of. So that already has me going, okay, I'm in if Steve Nally blended this, because I've had his other Discovery Series and I absolutely love them. He is a master at what he does, in my humble opinion. It does also have some older bourbons in it. So we're talking about some 12-year Kentucky, some 17-year Tennessee, some 12-year Canadian, and also some 7-year MGP. So all a little bit on the higher end of what's available on the market. He's blended into this. So it's an older bourbon. But as far as taste goes on value, I think it lives up to that $130, $140 value. What's in this is really good. I don't think that I've robbed Bardstown by buying it, but I'm not mad at buying it at that price either. This is just where bourbon is going. It's getting more expensive, and if you want good premium bourbon, you're going to have to pay some higher dollars for it. I still personally think the Bardstown Discovery Series are worth the price. They are always in my Bourbon of the Year running every single year. And so if I can buy a Bourbon of the Year in that $130 price range, I'm in. A lot of people might disagree with me on that, but I think it's worth it. So we're going to just call it even on the value. It's a 0.5. All right, guys, so that brings the overall score for Bardstown Discovery 7 to a 4.0. It is barely bunker worthy. And I really like this offering. I think it's great. I don't know that it lives up to Discovery 6. Definitely not as good as Discovery 3 and 4, in my humble opinion, but it's really good. The only thing it lacks is just layers of complexity, but what's there is fantastic. If you like strawberries and sweetness and vanilla and a little bit of tobacco, you're going to love this blend. I kind of think it's like a fat kid's dream. It is like candy sweet, really, really good. I enjoy it. I think it's worth the money. And bunker worthy, and probably going to go in our Bourbon of the Year running once again. Bardstown Discovery Series always kills it. Discovery 7, really good. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this review, please like, comment, subscribe. If you want any information on merchandise, barrel picks, Patreon community, please head over to whiskeytornado.com. Thank you to all our Patreon members who support this channel. It really helps the channel grow as we approach 5,000 subscribers. Helps us with camera equipment, lighting equipment, audio equipment, all the things. It costs a lot to run a YouTube channel. So I really appreciate all of our fans out there that support the channel. Until next time, grab you guys some Bardstown Discovery. Cheers, everybody. Man, every batch is good. Maybe not Discovery 5, but every other batch is fantastic. Just don't blend an ounce more of Dickel in here.
And they And then I